TKM Incorporated in Moss, Tennessee is a construction company that specializes in erosion control, seeding, and soil, hydroseeding, hydromulch, minor excavation, and silt fence. They also provide traffic control and construction signs. Their business is keeping people safe, but their passion, their mission, is they wish that all men could be saved. TKM has adopted the nickname the King's Men because as they serve you, they also serve the King. If they could provide any of their services for you, please contact them at 931-243-3958. That is 931-243-3958. Or you can contact them on the net at tkminc2001 at twlakes.net. That is tkminc2001 at twlakes.net. TKM Incorporated is a sponsor of Keeping Up with Jones, the Lonnie Jones podcast adventure. Years ago, one of my mentors made the distinction between simply preaching and actually ministering to people. He told me people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. When I became a full-time youth and family minister, I realized how inadequately prepared I was for dealing with the complex challenges facing youth, parents, and families. I honestly cared, but I was not competent. Today's ministers can become better equipped to meet this challenge through the Master of Arts in Family Life Ministry offered by Faulkner University. This program integrates prevention-oriented strategies as well as intervention strategies within a church setting focusing on counseling skills. All these courses may be completed online from the convenience of your home or workplace and at a time that is convenient to the schedule of the student. There is a 50% discount for the members of the Church of Christ. Now, although this program is not designed to fulfill any requirements toward becoming a licensed counselor, it is designed to thoroughly equip the minister by providing courses including but not limited to the skills required for counseling couples, families in crisis, as well as dealing with family dynamics, human intimacy, sexuality, parent and character education, as well as church assessments. If you're interested in more information, contact faulkner.edu/KGST. That is faulkner.edu/KGST. KGST stands for Curley Graduate School of Theology. You can also contact graduate enrollment at faulkner.edu with any questions or to explore the eligibility requirements for the tuition discount. Graduate enrollment at faulkner.edu. Faulkner University is a sponsor of Keeping Up with Jones, the Lonnie Jones podcast adventure. Vicarious embarrassment. That's that feeling that when you feel bad for someone else. It's that feeling you should get when watching American Idol or those dance show tryouts. You got this poor guy or poor girl who's been lied to their whole life and told they could sing and told they could dance. And here they are in front of a live audience with brutally honest judges, and it's a train wreck. I had a little vicarious embarrassment the first time I saw the Wendy's logo. Dave's Burgers were going to be sold using the image of his very own daughter. Now, I get it. All dads think they have beautiful daughters, and I'm sure that Melinda Lou Wendy Thomas Morse is a lovely person in real life. But the cartoon image of the logo that Dave chose to prompt his old-fashioned burgers, it looks like Pippi Longstockings. The only time that logo looks cute is when she's next to a Piggly Wiggly cartoon. And while we're talking about logos, I'll just take a side note here. The Slim Chickens logo, that's a crow. That's not a chicken. I said what I said. So I felt this vicarious embarrassment for Dave and Wendy for a long time and thought possibly this is the worst choice for logos I had ever seen. That is until Gary Busey opened up his string of mega gas stations. And when Gary Busey opened up his mega gas marts and used that little buck-toothed girl in the cap, that is a sight much worse than Little Miss Wendy. Lonnie, that's not Busey's, it's Bucky's. Okay. So it turns out that Bucky's is not Busey's. And Bucky's is owned by Arch Alpin III, whose nickname was Beaver, and his favorite dog was named Buck. If you combine the two, he came up with the name Bucky's, his nickname and his dog's name. And it has nothing to do with Gary Busey, although the likeness is very frightening and striking. These stores, these Bucky complexes, are mega stores. And depending on the location, they span anywhere from 68,000 square feet to the 75,000 square foot monster in Sevierville, Tennessee. Now, inside this store, you can buy painted cow skulls, t-shirts, hats, plushies, slimwear, blankets, iron skillets, mugs, coffee mugs, grills, coolers, jerky, fudge, water, soft drinks, energy drinks, cookies, collages, pastries, Dippin' Dots, corn puff snacks called beaver nuggets, and of course, the world famous brisket. I recently met some friends at a Buc-ee's. It was our rendezvous spot for an overnight fishing trip. As I walked into the store, I could hear in the back of my mind that from the John Boy and Billy radio show, they used to have this bit that featured an all-purpose store called JD's, and they advertised JD's 24-hour pawn and gun, auto parts, pharmaceutical, adult gift, bait and tackle, cigarette outlet. and here I was. I was walking into the live version of JD's, but it's called Buc-ee's. Now, it's definitely a good place to meet. It's an okay place to eat. It's a great place to buy your supplies, and we assumed we would go there, buy our stuff, eat a quick snack, and leave one or more of our vehicles there. Now, this store's crowded. It's unbelievable how many people are in these stores. I went into the men's bathroom and I was shocked. I've spoken at churches that had less people in the audience that were in this bathroom. We had to wait in line just to park. At a Buc-ee's gas station, you have anywhere between 80 and 120 gas pumps, depending on the location. Now let me repeat this. At a Buc-ee's, you can buy food, drink, souvenir, painted cow skulls, pump gas at 120 pumps, use a Tesla supercharger. You can buy fudge, jerky, and brisket. But you know what you can't do at Buc-ee's? You can't leave your car overnight. I walked up to the security guard, said, hey, me and my friends are about to go up to Pickwick. We're going to spend the night fishing, and we all want to ride together, so we're going to leave one of our cars here. And he said, you can't leave your car here. There are 400 parking spaces at this place, and somebody's going to notice a little black Tacoma sitting there and not doing anything. You see, their policy is, and then there's actually signs in the parking lot, if you're not actively shopping at Buc-ee's, you can't leave your car here. You see, once you've spent all your money, they need you to leave. If you're not in the store, they don't want you on their property. So we left, and we left with all of our vehicles. And the guys that were in the vehicle with me, we discussed the various aspects of the whole Buc-ee's phenomenon. The observation was made by one of the people in our group that there was not even a place to sit down and eat. You see, if people are sitting down and eating, they waste time. They're not shopping. And then you don't get the turnaround. You don't get the overturn of your traffic inside the store. Please come use our Taj Mahal-like restrooms. Get your stuff or get more stuff. But once you give us your money, thank you so much. We want you to leave now. The design of the store is probably not to waste your time. It's made as a travel center. They want you to be able to come in and choose one of the 120 gas pumps, walk in. They've got multiple cashiers. They must got multiple cash lanes. Everything is kind of center fed. And then once you get your stuff, you can leave multiple exits. They've really designed the store not to waste your time, but to enhance your journey. Come in, get your gas, buy your gifts, get your supplies, use the bathroom, eat all in one spot. It should really facilitate your journey. But once you walk in, and you prowl around 75,000 square feet, you really haven't been that efficient. And then as we drove along looking for a place to leave my truck overnight, we discussed the brisket. Now, the brisket's not bad. Please understand. In my world, brisket is kind of like pizza. There's good pizza and there's great pizza, but there's no such thing as bad pizza. I do not have a sophisticated palate. So maybe I'm not the person to be talking to you about food or food quality. Left on my own, allowed to eat with reckless, non-diabetic abandon, I'd eat pizza. I'd eat crystal hamburgers and frosted lemonades from Chick-fil-A. So I'm no sous chef. I cook to survive, not to entertain. But I know Brisket, number one, City Butcher in Springfield, Missouri, is the tops, followed closely by Barry Handback and the heavenly brisket that he makes. And then you get Brandon Glover from Blackwater Barbecue. And then in the Huntsville, Alabama area, you have Boar Hogs, you have Mary's Pit Barbecue. And then Reed Swindle can do some really cool stuff with the big green egg that he keeps at his house. So when somebody starts talking about mass-produced fast food Buc-ee's version, it's hard to get on board with this is world-class brisket. It's hard to get on board that this is the best brisket ever. It's hard to get on board that it's even the top 20. Now, I realize Buc-ee's originated in Texas, and Texas knows brisket, but the brisket in Buc-ee's is not the same as the brisket you get from world-class brisket places. Now, Troy Farmer was on this trip. He's a rock climber, a loyal friend, and a philosopher. And he came to the conclusion that people have to brag on the brisket just to justify why they put themselves through the ordeal of stopping at the Aquatic Mammal Plaza in the first place. You know, by the time you've wasted this much of your trip, by the time you've gone in and put up with the crowds and put up with the hype and seen all the stuff, you got to make yourself feel better and just say, you know what, but we stopped there for the brisket. No doubt you've heard the phrase sour grapes. It's looking at something you can't have and deciding it wouldn't have been good in the first place. It comes from Aesop and a fable about a fox who couldn't get at some grapes he wanted, and after trying and failing, he concluded, they were probably sour anyway. Well, I guess the opposite of sour grapes is cheap brisket. It's okay to wait like you were at a toll booth in order to park. It's okay to wait in line like you're trying to get on a ride at Disney just to pee. And it's okay to spend 3 times the amount of time that you'd spend just looking for your family than at a normal gas stop. But at least we got to have the world's best brisket. One does not eat the world's best brisket, quote unquote, standing in a hot parking lot beneath the sign of a huge cartoon animal that looks like Gary Busey's daughter. Good brisket, great brisket, world-class brisket is eaten on a plate. You can even eat it on a paper plate, but you have the ability to sit down and to enjoy it. But if you have to run in, get it wrapped in aluminum foil and eat it in the parking lot or eat it as you're driving, I'm not going to go with this, the world's best brisket. You know, even at Dreamland Barbecue, you eat on paper plates and they give you loaf bread, but at least you get to sit down. Everything that you say yes to represents something else that you said no to. And it's super easy to get distracted by the hype, by the crowd, by the choices, by the options, by the freedom. I know there are people who go to Buc-ee's as a trip in and of itself. Hey, let's all go to Buc-ee's and shop, or let's just go to Buc-ee's and enjoy the whatever. It's not my cup of tea. They enjoy it, they like it, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. It's not for me. But given that exception, unless Buc-ee's is your destination, unless it's the reason you got in the car and drove today, unless it's your destination, it just ends up distracting you and keeping you from getting to your actual destination. A 10-minute stop becomes an hour. A stop for gas becomes a stop for groceries. A stop for groceries becomes a Christmas shopping excursion to buy somebody a painted cow skull or a plushie. A stop for supplies that you need on your journey ends up taking a selfie with a bronze statue of a beaver or some poor dude in a beaver suit. Going to Buc-ee's as an outing in and of itself is probably okay if that's your thing. But if you stop there on the way to someplace better, if you stop there on the way to someplace more important, and you got distracted by the hype, you got lost in the crowd, overwhelmed by all the choices, and probably spent your resources on impulse buys that were unnecessary, and it delayed your trip rather than enhanced your journey. If you did that, then was it really a good choice? Oh, stop at this mega plaza convenience store. You can get anything you want, but it delayed your journey. It's one-stop shopping, but you end up shopping instead of traveling. If those are the kind of choices you're making in life, if you're making these Bucky type choices, look what those things cost you. You see, in the end, the brisket wasn't all that good. And it wasn't really worth it because it wasn't actually that cheap. The mission of Heritage Christian University is simple. They aim to advance the churches of Christ by equipping servants through undergraduate and graduate programs. Heritage Christian University produces effective communicators of the gospel, focusing on evangelism and a commitment to Scripture. Heritage Christian University is accredited by the Association for Biblical Higher Education and offers the following degrees: Associate of Arts in Biblical Studies, Bachelor of Arts in Biblical Studies, Master of Arts, Master of Ministry, and Master of Divinity. Since 1968, Heritage Christian University, formerly International Bible College, has offered affordable degrees in biblical studies, allowing graduates to thrive in their ministries without the burden of loan debt after graduation. For more information about Heritage Christian University, visit www.hcu.edu. That's 3 W's and a dot. hcu.edu. Heritage Christian University is a sponsor of Keeping Up with Jones, the Lonnie Jones podcast adventure. Using the tool of shortwave radio, World Christian Broadcasting literally covers the world every day with the gospel. They use 2 large curtain antennas. One is located in Anchor Point, Alaska, and the other in Madagascar. They send out messages that are recorded at their international home in Franklin, Tennessee. They make available 40 hours of broadcast every day. The broadcasts are made in English, Chinese, Russian, Spanish, Portuguese, Korean, English for Africa, and Arabic. They would love for your group to visit them. You can bring your ladies group, your youth group, or your men's group. Just give them a call at 615-371-8707, 615-371-8707, or you can go to 3 W's and a dot, worldchristian.org, find the Donate Here button, and make a financial contribution to support this work that literally covers the world every day with the gospel. World Christian Broadcasting, in cooperation with Keeping Up with Jones, the Lonnie Jones podcast adventure. Keeping Up with Jones, the Lonnie Jones podcast adventure, is sponsored by us. What? We sponsor ourselves? Is that even legal? Check us out on Amazon. You can have access to the titles of Pedagogue, the youth ministry book by Lonnie Jones; Cognitive Spiritual Development, a Christ-centered approach to spiritual self-esteem; Grappling with Life, Controlling Your Inside Space, a small essay using the principles of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to talk about psychological and emotional self-defense; If I Were a Mouse, a children's book written and illustrated by Lonnie Jones; and then The Selfish Reel, a very short story about a decision. Also, you can check out our YouTube channel to see archived lessons and presentations from across the country, some videos with rope tricks and knots. Don't forget to visit the Facebook page 550 Guys to learn about the little rope men that we make and that we invented and that we make. And then be sure to click like, subscribe, and share. This is Keeping Up with Jones, the Lonnie Jones podcast adventure.